Ah, what a night. But you know, this reminds me of that time you wanted to play a roguelike. Oh, what's that? You're still unsure if you would enjoy playing one? Or that the one that you want to play might not be what you're looking for? Don't worry, I have something for you. Welcome to What I Like This Roguelike. Because there's a lot of roguelike games, and many of them are really different, so I, your host Saucebreaker, talks about these roguelikes for you to find out if you would like it. Today we're going to be talking about Hades. Hades is a fantastic game with really good writing, beautiful characters, and has caught many eyes on the game, including mine. Like it back, please. Although roguelike games are fun, yet kinda hard to get into if you aren't already a fan. But I think Hades would be a great starting point for those who want to dip their toes into the game and the genre. So let's get into the basics of the game and my overall thoughts and opinion. When it comes to roguelike games, you usually have two of them. You have games that are really focused on multiple runs and the gameplay loop. Games like Binding of Isaac, for example. Unique gameplay first, narrative second. The flip side of that is roguelikes that are more focused on narrative, and the gameplay loop is just more controlled overall. Games like Cult of the Lamb and Dead Cells, for example. Just because I listed the games in that order doesn't mean that they don't do the other side just fine. Hades is a really good mixture of all of these, while also still leaning more toward a story-driven style. While the game does have you chill in the House of Hades or the Wicked Woods, you aren't gonna linger there for too long after you get your storyboards and you're off on another run. A short break and the story doesn't drag on after a run, and you have the choice of not even talking to any of these folks and just jumping straight in. The progression in Hades is solid. You always feel like you're improving or on your way to unlocking something new. If you're looking for a roguelike that has a healthy balance of gameplay and an easy to follow story, Hades is just for you. So what exactly would I be doing in Hades? In Hades, usually you would start at the House of Hades or the Wicked Woods, which act as your main hub in each entry. In these hubs, you would interact with supporting characters, all of them being unique and interesting, as later on, you can give them gifts to further bond and learn more about them. In addition, you can also upgrade yourself and prepare for the next run with money or materials you gather. You can also design a little bit in each hub, although it won't be any of the Animal Crossing home designer level of designing, it still should liven the place up a little bit. Once you start a run, you'll be given assistance from the gods with boons, which are unique from each god that gave it to you. There's also a hammer that tweaks the current weapon that you're using in this run to make it feel a bit more unique. The more you play and the more weapons you get, the more you unlock. You can expect to go through 4 areas, all having a boss, before going on to the next. These bosses are set in stone, but that doesn't mean you'll be fighting them exactly the same before. Just like you, they would be given types of weapons or just given a bit of variety. Overall, you will be trying over and over to reach further out than before. After I beat a run, is there any post-game content or any reason to keep playing the game? Well, in Hades' case, yes. You could say there's a lot of post-game content for Hades. Not only are there a lot of unlocks and upgrades in both the house and weapons you can be unlocked, there's also heat and fear, which can make your further runs harder. They'll also give you some rewards that otherwise wouldn't be available. Plus you have the option to deepen your relations with other characters, which can take some time and resources to do, so it will take you a while to do this for every character. But I will say, it is really worth it. Which one should I get? Hades 1 or Hades 2? Well, luckily Hades isn't Kingdom Hearts, and it isn't that important to have played the first game into the second. However, Hades 2 does require you to be familiar with some of the characters and with some basic events from the first game. To avoid the headache, just play the first game, and once you feel like you got the main point, then move on to Hades 2. Are the controls any good? Well, while you do have the choice of either playing on a controller, mouse and keyboard, or Resident Evil 4 GameCube chainsaw controller, it is recommended to play Hades with a controller, but it is up to you as the controls are really tight and really good with a dash and an ultimate if the gods hand it to you, of course. Me personally, I'm of the mouse and keyboard because I'm a degenerate. Each weapon does work a little bit differently, so remember to switch it up from time to time, as you don't want to get too comfortable when you can have even more fun. So, would I like this roguelike? If you're looking for a story-driven game without sacrificing the gameplay loop of doing a lot of runs or just a really long one, Hades is for you. The controls are great, art is amazing, music is poppin'. However, if you're more into the role-playing aspect and don't really care for a story, Hades might not be your cup of tea, but there's still a lot to enjoy about the game though. Hades is a must-play if you enjoy roguelikes, as there's not much quite like it. Remember to like and subscribe, and until then, I hope you get assistance from the gods above.